Hey everybody, Owen here from Game with the Cooler. We are back for another live show, hopefully. Let's make sure that we're not about to get audio in the background. Yep, got it just in time. Oh my god, look at the shake. Steady. Why is everything blurred? Why is everything so garbage? I keep changing things, trying to find a way where my video looks better. And I honestly think lighting is the big issue. Like, you can't, like, what you guys are seeing on the screen is not what these two little dudes look like in natural lighting that I'm sitting in right now. I guess not natural lighting, but you know what I mean. We're just going to sit here for a moment as I kick everything and readjust and settle in for a comfy stream. But we have some Warriors of Chaos ambient. The amount of light a camera needs is too much. Yeah, but I have also a light. And so, like, here, let's fiddle some more. This is what I was fighting with before the show started. Here, we're gonna crank up the brightness. Don't look. You'll hurt yourself. And then we're gonna go into the camera and we're gonna adjust its brightness. Ah! Oh, sliders. Is it a contrast issue? Like, it looks like trash. Like, this looks so bad. If we change the tone. No? That doesn't do it either? What if we just turn this off? What if we just don't even have that on? It's not Berserkers, actually. The current resolution is HD, which is not optimal. Oh god. Stream is doing good, though. Because that's how it is. Looking fuzzy on the numbers. Is your camera focused correctly? See, that's what I wonder. What's going on? Because it should be focusing in on the dudes. Look at the scale here. But it's blurry, but I don't think that's... Okay. That is as close, I think, as we're going to get to reality. Let's just turn off autofocus so that it won't adjust itself when I grab stuff. That's what we're gonna have to do. All right, we are painting some spooky boys. Can't see details is fine. Perfect. That's all I really care about, is that you guys can see what's going on with the miniatures. And we have some more. I'm going to be... I was able to expand on my Chaos Army a little bit. Yeah, you're not going to show up at all. A little bit. And I want to work on them. They're fucking bad right now, but, you know, maybe one day they won't be. Chaos Terminators are so friggin' cool. But I want to paint one of my Thousand Suns here in the potential scheme. Normally when I do a show with you guys, I don't do my like paint scheme tests on the show. I'll establish what it is I'm going to paint, figure out how I'm going about it, and then do it off camera. And then we'll load up the camera and do it that way. But fuck it, we'll do it live. And we're going to be looking at some of this. Maybe. I realized I piled up all my sprues on top of my paint thing. There we go. You'd think for being like a day late for my own show, I'd have had this a little bit more organized, but nope. It has been a busy little while. I think we're gonna grab one of these. You'll need that later. We'll just get that guy over there too. Probably gonna want that. Definitely gonna need... Well, we won't definitely need that. We'll keep it out. Just in case. Nope, nope. Maybe. I can't find the right color. I can see it in my mind's eye. I just... there... Nope, that's not the right one. Is it you? Nope. Were Chaos Termies ever as good as their sculpts? No, probably not. That's probably not. Hey there, Ghost. How you doing? Well, whatever. We'll try this. Switching your washes over to the dropper bottles? Yeah, that's probably a good way to go about it. I'm not gonna do that. Here, let's put a little dude in the camera. Be like, yeah, I'm being painted. While we sit here and chat. So, how's everybody doing this week? It has been a busy week for me, and the week is just starting. A lot of Citadel washes, but transferred the ones I do have to dropper bottles. Yeah. I read that comment already. I don't know if I talked about this on my last show, but I've now played a number of games with the new Necrons. I honestly think they are way more obnoxious to play against than the new Space Marines. The incredible power that reanimation protocols gives to regular warrior units is so much. I don't know how certain factions are going to be able to even fight them at all. Because not many, but a number of factions depend on multiple instances of units shooting in order to succeed at a thing. So think of your orcs or your guard or your eldars, even Tyranids to some degree. And the way the new reanimation protocols work, you're going to be doubly rewarded just for showing up compared to those poor bastards who are going to lose effectiveness of their army in a way that the Space Marines don't, because if you fire a ton at a Space Marine squad, sure, he's got good stats and good saves and all that, but generally once they fail them, they die, and that's it. Now, I know there's the apothecary now, but it is still only one guy per turn, and that's not that bad. But Necrons, every unit, every time, in between every shot being taken, it's incredible. And they're still toughness 4. Yeah, they've only got a 4-up save, but that's pretty horrifying still. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like how this is going. I'll test out this little paint scheme here. It's so washed out. Is the light just too bright? What if we turn this down? Click, click, click. Click one up. I honestly wonder if just having my camera, my phone camera, and taking pictures as I go, and then just uploading those or putting those on here, wouldn't be the better way of doing things. I don't know. Fuck. I messed that up. I thought that part was part of another part. I'm just gonna make it worse. Fuck it. We'll just keep going. Reanimation was always obnoxious. That was the point. See, but the thing was, so old reanimation, you have a squad of guys, and you can have your whole army fire into them and wipe them out, and then they don't get to reanimate. That was the way to beat them, was to really concentrate your fire. But now, whether it's one squad or 100, they're always reanimating until the very end. Unless you have a single squad that can do just so much fire that you can down an entire unit. And a 20-man unit of guys with 4-up saves and toughness 4 takes a long time to die. Especially when you give them a 5-up invuln. Oh, it is double there. I think. I don't know. I can barely tell. Oh, it's little scales. Okay, well, let's just paint that in. And then we'll wash that down. And we'll see how that goes. Archaeotech Punisher Cannon versus the World. Problem is with the Punisher Cannon, it's 2 instances of shooting. Like, your ability to fire twice isn't double your shots. It's shoot again. And so they're going to shoot, then he's going to reanimate, then you're going to shoot again. And half the guys you killed from the first one are going to be back again. Same with like the Space Marines Rapid Fire. Same with the Orc Gun Wagon. Ugh, that looks like trash. I should have been more on the point. Well, we'll keep going for now and we'll see what we can do. There we go. See, but it's worse than the 5-up playing Death Guard. Because, like, Death Guard at least care about the strength of your weapon. These guys, it doesn't matter whether it's damage 150 or damage 1. It's still just one roll. Fuck me, I haven't had to do, like, detail painting in so long. I don't seem to be able to use my brush anymore. Man, the camera just ruins him. So it's like solid gold on the one side. That wasn't really what I wanted. It might work out because these guys will have solid gold, so I think I'll do it on both shoulders just for the sake of consistency. And we might be able to just kind of sneak past the Uggo. Is it just that the focus is off? Is that really all the problem is? 1 second. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. Going for the pre-heresy boys? Yeah, basically. You ever try using metallic brush pens? Surprisingly good results and can rub it off if you don't like the coat. That's a pretty cool thing. Normally, if I mess up a coat and I'm painting something, I just paint black over the spot that I messed up. And it tends to blend into the overall model. Unless you have like a really bright paint scheme. That's been my way of doing things. So it's not quite red. It's much more pink than red. Well, not pink, I guess. I don't know. Always being late. Yeah, I was pretty late today. I'll admit. Went with the Hermit blades for sorcerers and rusted undersea tome for the Marines. Got to pour some resin and make it look like they're rising out of the ocean. I have yet to go in on trying to do the resin water effect. I just don't have the confidence to take a whack at that. I was tempted to with my Trident Realms army for Kings of War, but I ended up not. One day. One day we'll take a whack at it. But we'll see. I'm kind of bummed out right now because my 3D printer is on the fritz. And I've tried going through all the things to try and fix it. Everything I could find online. So I'm asking for some help. Couldn't seem to do it. So I contacted the company that I bought it from. And was like, hey, do you have like a tech support thing to try and fix it? And they're like, we do. It's $100 an hour. And we'll get it back to you in a few days. And I'm like, this is a $300 printer. You charge $100 an hour to fix a $300 printer? I could buy a new printer for 3 hours of work. Why would I do this? UV resin from Green Stuff World makes it easy as ever. Pour it out and zap it with the flashlight. Instantly solid. Interesting. Have I asked 3DPG on the chan? No, I have not. The problem I'm having with my printer right now is it feels like it's belt skipping, but I think actually it's actually knocking the prints off of the platform because it's not lifting correctly. Like it's not going up the z-axis because it seems to hit a certain point in all my prints that it gets to that same level, maybe like an hour in, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go up anymore. And I think that's what is the issue, that there's something... Is it z-axis, the up and down? I think so. Anyway, I think that's the one that's doing it. They're pretty helpful. Just expect it to be like 4chan. That's fair. Hey, you want to see what happens when you open up a 25-year-old paint can? Mink. Still good, though. See, even with a reft, sounds like leveling one side higher than the other. It could be leveling. That could be the problem. I spent a lot of time trying to level it. It's an Ender 3 Pro is the one I have. Like, I really tried to make sure it was level, and I thought it was good. I printed the little, like, test level thing, and it seemed to come out okay. But, could be wrong. Ender 3, you got a level every day. Maybe that's my problem. Well, I can take another whack at it. Assuming you've done the big Marlin flash and stuff. Not sure what I know by that term. We'll just paint this guy in the meantime. But yeah, new Necrons. I've been enjoying it. The Big Marlin's flash sounds like a mating it ritual. I'll have to look up what that means online because I don't know what that is in reference to. I mean, obviously it's into 3D printing, but I don't know what that means. That's like white. I think this little camera has just come to the end of its life. You can see how like blurry and weird looking it is. Like there's clearly a blur to the image. It has that like, I'm gonna rub the camera, let's see what happens. It's waking up from a groggy sleep. Oh god, I made it worse. Who would have thought my greasy paint covered fingertips would make it not as good? Let's try again. Well, back to where we started. Damn, Owen, clean your lenses. Just rub your eyes more. that photo every now and again. You know what? I'm just gonna mute myself. I'll be right back. Let's see what happens. And we're back. All right. One moment here as I find myself and send me an image. And then we go into this program and click that button. And then we open up this and we click that and we do that. And there. And now, are you gonna let me do this program? So that's the work we're at right now. And that is a hell of a lot nicer looking image. Look, you can see what it is. It's a spaceman. Alright, so I'm going to basically just keep talking and painting, and then every now and again when I hit like a benchmark of some kind, I'll just do another photo. And then we'll update it and we'll just do it this way. Because I think I need to figure out some kind of other camera situation. Because this little guy is not doing his job anymore. There we go. Yeah, it gives you a very different idea of what the hell that was looking like. When am I going to play more Battle Brothers? I really should be. Like, I need to do another stream day, I think. I think there needs to be... I mean, obviously today was a day late because of things coming up, so we couldn't do Sunday. But with Sunday being like a paint hangout, and also I've started actually getting stuff done during these painting shows, so I do enjoy them, if nothing else than the I'm getting painting done. We do need a game night, because that's always been the basis of live shows that I've done. And there's a couple games like that I really want to stream that I haven't been, because I want to make sure that we're still doing the paint nights. And so I'm thinking we might need to do some more regular live shows. But I don't want to commit to doing another live show until I can actually ensure that I'll be able to do it. And right now, Sunday is kind of the day that I normally can do it. Like, we're week like 10 or something in a row of actually showing up and doing the show. And for those of you who have been here for a while, that shit is not how my channel normally works. So... I'm sorry there, Damien. I mean, it looks so nice. We're referencing Necromundo right now. It looks really nice. It just, like... It just, the AI was too much for me. I couldn't get past it. It was like unplayable to some degree. We have been consistent. Don't give me that. Yeah, it's definitely early access. Well, like one of the other games that I wanted to play was the new Baldur's Gate. Like I'm a big fan of the original Baldur's Gate computer game, and then Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out. I'm like, oh shit, this is it. I'm excited. I love that game. We'll play some Baldur's Gate 3. I'll stream it even, and then I find out that it's like a fucking beta accessed, where they only get past like chapter 1 or something, but they're charging the price of a full game. I'm like, fuck off. You don't even have all the classes yet. I'll come back when you have a game that's complete. And it's not even like you're getting on the bandwagon to save some money. Which I like. I can appreciate that. Like, pay for the early access to get a discount because they're charging less at the time. Like, I'm okay with that. But for a full price game to not be finished and to be released, just don't release it. Like, it stinks of we knew our budget only got us to this far, and in order to try and finish it, we needed to sell it, and then hopefully we could sell enough to make the money so that we could afford to finish it. Because if we can't, we're going to just leave it dead. I don't know. I don't trust it. Let me put it that way. Yeah, I haven't played Northgard for a while. They did come out with that new clan, and Dan and I played a couple games, but then we went back out to playing it. Fuck all the other bad GW games, just play Mechanicus. I like Gladius, actually. I need to stream freaking Gladius still. I haven't even got that going. Do we do gold on the cape to match the armor, or do we do red? I think we stick with the gold, just to be consistent. Yeah, Gladius is literally just Endless Legends. Like, it is just a 4X. Whoa, I was going to be in a hard case if I painted that in Zamesi Desert. No such thing as too much bling. So they say. Man, there's so much detail on this model that is just wasted on me. I ain't painting that shit. All right, let's see about doing an update picture. Progress. Did I see the Darkest Dungeon Kickstarter? I did. I have myself on the little notify me when this goes lives list, because I am a big fan of Darkest Dungeon. I do like the miniatures, actually. I think they're interesting because they're weirdly proportioned in the same way that the game is, but they don't have that full-on like tiny body, massive head thing going on. I'm just gonna put you down and let that wash finish drying. Let's start painting a normie. Paint that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I have seen the Darkest Dungeon Kickstarter. We'll see how it goes. The problem is like I said, I like the models. The design is interesting from like a let's match the video game, but it does also put them distinctly in the we're only ever going to be this models. Like you're going to be hard pressed to run your Frostgrave team using them because you'll look weird next to all the other models that you're going to have. Unless you did it with only those models. It's like the War Machine effect where War Machine models all look like War Machine models. Like, hey, that's great for branding, but you're not going to be used in any other kind of miniature game. Which is a nice thing when you get to buy models that you can use in more than one thing. I think so anyway. But I'm also one who plays many games, so that might just be my opinion. More people might not care about that. It might be like, why buy them to play that game, and that's that. Fair enough. Though if you're the kind of person who's hanging out on this stream, you probably also play more than one game. But who knows? Different strokes for different folks, as it goes. That looks 40k-y, some kind of Chaos Marine. It's a Tzeentch Chaos Marine. He's a Rubricae, aspiring sorcerer. He's also a work in progress. For someone who isn't much of a painter, but paints to get the job done. You play solo games, mostly Nordic Weasel games. Model agnostic. Artisan Guild models to use for Frostgrave. Yeah, I keep seeing ads for them pop up because I'm trying to find a model of a goblin who's really buff. Like a boss goblin, but I don't want him to be sneaky. I want him to be like a little goblin Hercules. And shy of like 3D printing, they don't seem to exist. I found the Rackham one who I liked, but of course, you're not buying that guy. So the hunt continues. Or I buy a resin printer. Or see if one of the people I know with a resin printer will print one for me. Always such a lame ask, though. It might be different in this situation because I've tried to try and find one and I just can't. Might be a little bit more like, look, it's not just because you have the printer. I don't want stuff for free. I just want something very specific. You have to understand. Because I'll be honest, it's one of the things that popped up almost as soon as I got my printer and shown anyone the fact that I had a printer. The first question was, well, what can you print for me? And it's like, I can print lots of stuff for you. I don't mind. But you don't want to be that guy. Brink. Ever play This Is Not a Test? I've been around while it's been played. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know the Terminators that you're referring to. It wasn't like, I don't know how much I like the the post-apocalyptic stuff. Oh, just cracked my jaw. Yeah. I'm a fan of sci-fi. I'm a fan of fantasy. But I don't know how much I care for the post-apocalypse. This paint scheme is going to take a long time. I love that you've painted these in Queensland maroon colors. I mean, it makes sense for him to be a veteran sergeant. He's clearly been around for a while. Well, actually, in all likelihood, he's just got armor that's been around for a while. The problem with the post-apocalyptic stuff is there's like a standard for post-apocalyptic. And I know that there is for everything, like Dark Ages Europe is the medieval standard, and like I get it. It's just, it doesn't appeal to me. Like the Mad Max world is like meh. But I do kind of like zombie stuff. Like I guess you could say modern post-apocalypse. Like if it was just after the apocalypse. That's something that I like to some degree. Because it ties it enough into reality. There we go. That guy's pretty cool looking. Gold on the trim of the cape worked pretty well as well. Aren't Rubik's just the same 1,000 guys dying over and over? I don't know. I don't think so. Zona Alpha, that was the one with the robot team, right? Where we couldn't decide whether or not your robots could actually be injured. I don't know. It wasn't as bad as... Well, I say it's bad. It wasn't as broken as the other one that we played where we had the jetpack or super jumping dudes with bolt guns and the psyker who could zap an entire team to death by themselves. That one went badly. I did like Zona Alpha though. I think it's just like Ash and I were talking about it. We need another game that we really like go crazy over. Like for example, you used to be able to reliably get Mordheim content on my channel because I loved Mordheim. And I played the shit out of Mordheim all the time against tons of people, making different warbands, doing different things, new campaigns, new named characters, offshoots of other characters. And then Frostgrave came along, and it at that point I had already tired out Mordheim. I've tried all the other little sub-factions, and I did all that, and everyone I played with was kind of done with it as well. And it was like, well, let's play Frostgrave. And for a while, Frostgrave was like, hell yeah, this is neat. I'm going to build this kind of wizard, and I'm going to figure out how these items work, and these little guys are leveling up, and they're getting stronger, and who knows where we're going to end up next, and all that kind of stuff. But then that started to peter off as models got dumber and dumber and leveled up into absurdities, and the game kind of broke on its back. Now, Frostgrave has had erratas that have come out to mitigate some of the stuff that I found hilariously overpowered, or through a combination of effects could result in your guys being immortal, or like so hilariously strong that no one's ever going to touch you again. Looking at fight 19 or 15 plus characters where we're going to roll a dice, you get +1 on the roll and I get +15 on the roll, and we're going to see who rolls higher. And if you attack me, if I roll higher, I not only win, I also deal that much damage to you. Like, just hilarity. Oh, Zona Alpha was the... I remember now. I'm mixing it up with... Zone Raiders. Zone Raiders is what I'm mixing it up with. Zona Alpha, yeah, that was the one where it was like, buy heavy armor, but you're a trader, so it counts as half the cost. And then put armor plates into it and level up all your stats into armor level ups. And your guys become mathematically impossible to kill. I guess it wasn't impossible. I didn't get the extra level that would make it impossible. It just meant that they needed to use the most powerful weapon in the game, succeed at every roll to hit me and hurt me, and then I needed to fail two 2d10 rolls. I had to essentially roll snake eyes on d10s in order to take a point of damage. And that was after all the other mods. And that was with them using anti-tank rifles to try and kill those guys, which were, you had to buy individual bullets for them in that game because they were so powerful. Or at least they appeared to be so powerful until you had access to buying the best armor in the game just at the beginning because you sold one piece of treasure. Now he did a really good job, the guy who made that game, of responding to that by doing a little errata to change that, as well as to make a comment about like, yeah, no one did that when we practiced and played it, and it kind of got past the play test. So he came up with a little adjustment where you couldn't just buy that armor, And there were little notes in it that, like, this is like a funsies game. It's not meant to be power played. But they did adjust it to make it so that you couldn't just do that right off the get-go. But for me, it's one of those things that I have a hard time going back to a game once it's been patched. Like, maybe with a new edition or something like that. Something new to bring in. Because, I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. There's a weird feeling around it. That goes for video games too. Like it'll probably take me a lot to go back and play Necromunda again, because it was like, what the fuck? How did this even happen? There we go. Hey, that guy looks pretty cool. This is a wizard friend. Yeah, Infinity does seem to have gone the other way with there being less hacking programs. Hey, Light. Get your shit together. I mean, Infinity is also trying to be serious tournament style game, which has been an issue forever looming in that game. Like, there was always the push from players to become a more tournament style game. But so much of that game depends on you just being a reasonable human being that you're going to run into problems, because not all tournament players are. I mean, not all people are. But you can bring out the worst in folks in doing that kind of stuff, which is why I'm so unhappy, or at least, I don't know if I would say I'm unhappy. I'm so cautiously pessimistic about Games Workshop coming out with the Meta Watch thing. It's like, I don't know if you want to go down that route, guys. I'm playing Rangers last days, but I've been looking for a Cyberpunk game. There's no punk in Infinity anymore, even with the Nomads. People are going to say Reality's Edge, but it's rethemed This is not a test. I'm trying to remember Reality's Edge now. That sounds really familiar. Joseph McGuire. 2019. I don't remember this one at all. It's made by Osprey, so at some point I'll have seen it. The Sprawl. You're a showrunner. I don't know. Hey, look, it's The Last Days. $40 for a hardback on their website. Fair enough. My love for GW died last edition. Seeing my beloved Deathwatch get absolutely shit on with the recent FAQ only validates that decision. What do you mean? What about the new FAQ made it that Deathwatch were suddenly so much worse? Having recently played against Deathwatch, they felt basically the same. They got really buffed up by their normies getting the extra wound, seemed like a solid adjustment. Yeah, their bullets aren't quite the same, and you don't get to just sit there and fucking. You lost special issue ammo on Primaris. Okay. And the reformed mixed squads are both better and worse. Like, you're also the only faction that can take hordes of outriders if you want it to be that guy. Yeah, and the Corvus got a buff. I mean, the Space Marine Flyers in general have been always meh, ever since they went overboard with the Grey Knight one way back in the day. See you later there, Casa. Yeah, I think Deathwatch are okay. I think you're over exaggerating a little bit. Play some games, rethink what your priorities are. Like, things that were really cool before may not be, maybe they are still, but I would give it some time to settle before making a solid call. But that's just me. Snapping magnets, by the way, if you're enjoying those sweet, sweet loud slaps. You know what we should do? We should paint Tiny Abaddon. Oh, Tiny Abaddon, you make me smile. And I'm going to use you in every game I can. You useless, armless, terrible, terrible antagonist of the series. Thank God you finally lost your seat as a character that people give a shit about. Because now we have the Silent King, who is a real bad guy that humanity can deal with. Kirax Stone. I don't want Kirax Stone. I want Wraithbone. They ran a passion project. Good old Failbadon the Armist. He's not based. Get out of here. Shitty B-tier villain. Fails at everything he does. He's like a Saturday cartoon villain. Only they try and make him gruff and edgy. And even then, he's only a knockoff of his boss, who died a hero. Or a villain. Something Batman quote. I could shit on Abaddon all day. He's just such a mediocre villain. Especially because he has so many accomplices who have more interesting and more dynamic conflicts. I think, actually, you know what the problem is that I find is there's no... I guess it's better now that... what's his name exists? Robo Girly Man. At least now there's an antithesis. But now there's better villains too, because you have like Mortarion and Magnus, who are more interesting slash. I don't know if I would so say is like developed, but they have a much bigger presence. They stand there as representatives of a faction, but like to a higher degree of this guy who's also around. And they also are guys that are on the same tier as Robo Girly Man. Whereas, like, I feel if Horus gets in a fight with Rowboat, he just gets slapped. Like, they'll find a reason to justify it, but he should just get slapped. He's not a Primarch. He's just a dude. Oh, but he'll have the power of chaos in him. Unlike all those other Primarchs who have the power of whiny children in them. I don't know. It is 40k lore, so let's all take it with a grain of salt. I wish I shared the optimism. They found a reason to make him the same size for some reason. Joke's on you. Mine is not the same size. He's smaller than a friggin' Thousand Suns Rubik Marine. Where's my red? Actually, I don't think I can open this. Where's my other red? Oh. Nope. Maybe. No. Nope. Nope. Yes. I don't know. The current state of chaos, like, if you think Deathwatch have it bad, you want to talk about a faction who has been broken so badly that a supplement got its codex before the main army did? Like, excuse me? I get that Deathwatch was the previous, like, spearhead child, but you could just do exactly what they just did with the Space Marine Codex for Chaos. Like, what the fuck? Release the Chaos book, and then give a big PDF for Thousand Suns and Death Guard. And then that way, all the Chaos players can get touched and have some kind of upgrade. And then those who want, like, their specialty stuff, they can still look forward to getting it soon enough, with a little bit of something to tide them over until it comes out. And instead they go, nah, just these guys. Now maybe it's one of the other books. Maybe the other ones that are getting secretly released will be a Generico Chaos one. I haven't seen it yet, but it's so funny that that's the route that they went. Especially because, like, the problem with Chaos especially is that it has to stand there as the opposition to Space Marines. Because, like, Space Marines are the poster child of the Imperium and good guys, as well as, like, the company in and of itself. But the villain, the antithesis of them, the Chaos Space Marines, which are the good guys gone bad, the iconic enemy because they're from within, has been so fucking mangled that they had to just bring in different enemies because they no longer can fulfill the role of being the primary antagonist because they're so blah. It's why I never, like, when people ask me about like 40k lore and, like, how do you think 40k will continue lore-wise, I always just put Tyranids and Necrons as the big two. I've never considered Chaos as, like, the endgame threat. It always talks about Chaos like it's the endgame threat, and, like, I know the lore does its goddamn best to make it seem like it's the big problem. But compared to Necrons and Tyranids, it's like, yeah, and? Oh, what do you do? I'm culty bad man, and I make people fight and die. What do you do? I've decided I want to try and make life not alive anymore. And you? I eat everything. Even myself. I don't know. Chaos is just a meme at this point. You're not wrong. What color is Abaddon's sword? Is it green normally? Is that always the color that people give it? I feel like green is the color that people paint it. Think Necrons will throw down with Nids at some point? I mean, they're weirdly absent in the Necron Codex. For being the catalyst that is supposed to be activating the Necrons, like interest in functioning, there's a weird absence of Tyranid versus Necron fluff. I mean, the whole Necron book is kind of soft on plot. Like, there's not really anything. It's just a reiterance of what they're up to. And the answer is waking up. And then it gives you a bit of a touch on what their personality types are like, where you have, like, hard conquerors, a few crazy ones, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if there's even a single instance in the Necron Codex where it talks about a fight between Necrons and Tyranids. Even like the Silent King's blurbs don't have a conversation about Necrons versus Tyranids, which I think is very strange because, like I said, they're the catalyst that got the Silent King to come back. Like, it wasn't Chaos. They didn't give a shit about Chaos. They don't give a shit about Eldar. They don't give a shit about Dark Eldar. Like, none of that stuff mattered to them. They don't care about the Orcs. It was Tyranids. Tyranids were the thing that he went, oh shit, this is the real threat. Not some fucking humans. And not some pointy humans either. And yet, I don't recall any stories of an interaction between the two. Maybe I'm wrong. I read that book a few times trying to get a feel for it, but I don't read I read very haphazardly. I don't tend to read things in order. I jump to places that I'm interested in, and then I put it down when I'm no longer interested, which is essentially what happened when I was reading that. Oh, we gotta do a picture update. Yeah, let's do a picture of the whole little party standing together. Focus. One sec. We're doing a picture click and a cut and a save and a jump to this and a jump to that and add a source and add a media file. Bink. Oh. I think Necrons will throw down with Nids. My theory is Chaos never sold enough because it was too easy to kit bash. GW loves it where their sales are. I mean, maybe. But, like, you can make things that people want to buy. Like, they clearly care enough to make all those demon engines. They cared enough to make new Chaos Space Marine models and new Cultist models and new demon engines and new characters and, like there's stuff going on there. And they're supposed to be the friggin' antagonists of the story. They're the evil mirror. Yeah, the Necrons and Dante teaming up was the big fucking what is happening, because the Necrons teaming up with Dante was prior to the Necron retcon. It was back when the Necrons were still soulless killing machines, and they teamed up, and then they got, like... It was when the Alliance Matrix came out in 5th edition, because I distinctly remember this, because the Alliance Matrix is what made me quit the game. Because it just broke the shit. And I'm a big... Like, that instance is what got... Because once again, it was Tyranids are the bigger threat, we need to work together. Necrons are willing to work together with Space Marines are willing to work together with Necrons. And then, yeah, they kind of screwed each other over afterwards, but that's fine. Like, whatever. They're not friends. A few years later, you modify the Necrons that they're just like the Tomb Kings. They're Egyptian pharaohs in space. And that justifies the reason why they had a talk, and then they retconned the talk where it was actually the Silent King. It wasn't just some nobody. And the Silent King was wearing like a Sanguinius mask, and he talks about how he knew Sanguinius, and they had a conversation, and no one knows whether that's true or not. But the gist of it is, once again, the Tyranids are the big bad. I honestly think that Tyranids will be the next edition's big bad. That in this latest edition, Necrons are the enemy, and in subsequent codexes and things like that, it'll be based around this Nihilist zone where they're deleting psychic power, and different factions' interactions with them as they go about doing this, and that by the end of it, it'll be the arrival of the Tyranids that are or rather, not necessarily the arrival, but the made aware of how fucking bad it has become. Because, like, in the lore, Tyranids are kicking ass everywhere. Yeah, you have these moments where they get stopped, but, like, planets all over the place are getting just decimated by Tyranids showing up and wiping them out. And obviously that's not what it is on the tabletop, but, like, it was bad enough. The galaxy's getting fucked hard enough by these guys that the Necrons are waking up. That the Silent King himself had to come back to wake them up, because he's like, oh shit, if we don't get this together, this is going to be unstoppable. And so the Necrons show up, and they can try and curb this a little bit. Because people like, okay, Space Marines got a ton of new stuff with the new edition. Space Marines always will. They're literally half the market. If not more. But Necron's got like 20 new kits or something like that. Like 20 new model range, like models. And that's quite a bit. That is a faction. What did you get on your face? Or your little skull face, I suppose. I saw some stuff. I wonder what the new kill team's going to be. I think it's going to be a rogue trader supplement for it. Yeah, probably. And then it'll be ignored. I mean, the thing is with kill team, you can always just add more shit. You can always just throw new model releases into it. Yeah, it's not going to be perfectly balanced, but it's a small game. You'll be fine. How do you think those Aeronautica fans feel? Or even more so, how about the not Gorka Morka that came out in that Orc Speed Freaks box? But it is what it is. So Necrons are making pariah bits to tackle Nids. It's just like affects Imperials / Chaos more. I don't know a lot about how the whole network is going. I know the Pariah book came out and has a lot of lore on that. That's the one that you get fucking New Legman right at the end of 8th edition came out for Necrons before they became the big bad. You know, I honestly wonder if Tyranids go on the back burner so much because Zerg have replaced Tyranids as the bug army. Like, because GW got caught sleeping 30 years ago, Tyranids can never be the big thing that they should be because people will associate it with Zerg rather than with Tyranid. Like, I know Terminator and Necrons, but Terminator is very different. Like, Terminator is obviously Terminator. But Zerg and Tyranids are close enough that if you didn't know, you might mistake one for the other. Which I find hilarious. Like, how many times do you go to a video and some fucking person is like, man, these guys are just like the Zerg. I wonder if that is the case. Because it happened to them for Warcraft, and then again for StarCraft. I mean, I know it's all Tolkien and fucking Warcraft and Warhammer Fantasy, like old fantasy. But like, there's some inspiration on each other's fronts from one another. Like the way even the orc accents in Warcraft is like a reference almost. Like obviously it's its own thing now. But like, think back to Tides of Darkness and like original Warcraft, and they're the same kind of football hooligan orcs as the orcs from 40K are. I mean, I know old fantasy orcs were a little bit more vicious, but yeah, I think movies are different though. The reference from Starship Troopers, that is. I think the movie audience isn't the same as the video game audience. Like, if you look at Total War Warhammer, I'm confident that has had an impact on GW. People being introduced to it through Total War Warhammer because it's so popular. And I know you could make the argument that like it's popular because it's Warhammer and the Warhammer fans like it. But there's also Total War fans that got into it the other way. Like, there were ads for Warhammer models on the dashboard for Total War Warhammer. Like, that's incredible. Oh, what happened? His stream just dropped? I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I was just watching the little meter just fell off a cliff. Oh, there it is. It's back again. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it's all just a patience game. Hopefully, interesting things continue to happen or start happening. The new Space Marines book is a giant behemoth, but it is Warhammer. Is Titanicus dead? Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know, guys. I think we're going to wrap this up, though. I'll do one more picture. Actually, you know what? Honestly, it hasn't changed. It's much more of the same. But we've established a paint scheme, which I actually rather like. We might continue to do pictures like this in future streams, or I'm going to see if I can get another camera / lighting set up so that hopefully we can actually see what the fuck is happening. And that'll be better in the future. But yeah, for now, we're just going to call it. We should be back Sunday next week, back to normal times. And I don't know, I'm going to think about what we can do as far as a game night. We got to play something. We got to play some Gladius. We got to play some stuff. Some Northgard, some Battle Brothers. There's a lot of games out there. But for now, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys. I will see you next week. Among Us. I could be one of them. Ugh.